Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Poonam Chawla, an assistant professor with Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Management Studies in Rohini. Today we are going to discuss on the interesting subject of evaluation of training effectiveness. The learning outcomes associated with the module are, I'll provide you an introduction with the topic, then we will discuss the evaluation of training, the concept of training effectiveness, decision points in planning training, evaluation methods of training evaluation, evaluating training programs, and we shall also see two additional considerations in measuring the outcome of training and the broad structure of successful evaluation. It will be followed by the summary of the module. Once you are through with this module, you will be able to understand the concept, purpose and need of evaluation of training. You will be able to comprehend the meaning of training effectiveness. You will be able to identify decision points in planning training evaluation. You will know and appreciate the process of training evaluation, and you will understand various methods of training evaluation. Now, friends, let us define evaluation of training. The literal meaning of the term evaluation means the assessment of value or worth. Hamblin defined the process of evaluating training as any attempt to obtain information on the effects of training program and to assess the value of training in the light of that information. Evaluation of training serves some of the following benefits to the organization. Number 1, it provides insights about the effectiveness of training. Number 2, it helps to monitor the training program. Number 3, it generates valuable information to modify, design its future training programs. Provides key data to examine the significance of training and its integration with other functions of human resource management. Let us talk about training evaluation, its purpose and need. Training evaluation serves some of the following purposes. It ascertains whether training objectives have been met or not. Second, it finds out the effectiveness of different elements of the training program. It determines whether the training program justifies the cost or not. Fourth, it decides the participants for training program in future. To identify which participants gain the most and which gain the least from the specific training programs, to gain practical insights in order to plan, develop and deliver more effective training programs in future, to match to policy, guiding principles and documentation of the training efforts, to check the degree of transfer of learning, and to determine if the training program actually aligns with the needs of the trainee or not. Bramley and Newby have identified 5 main purposes of evaluation. They are feedback, that is linking learning outcomes to objectives and providing a form of quality control. Second is control, that means using evaluation to make links from training to organizational activities and to consider cost effectiveness. Then research, that means determining relationships between learning, training, transfer to the job. And then intervention, which means in which the results of the evaluation influence the context in which it is occurring. There are two types of evaluation, that is formative evaluation and summative evaluation. Formative evaluation is typically conducted during the development or improvement of a program or course. Summative evaluation involves making judgment about the efficacy of a program or course at its inclusion. Training effectiveness. Training effectiveness is the degree to which trainees are able to learn and apply the knowledge and skills acquired in the training program. According to Kirkpatrick, it can be measured in terms of the following criteria, that is reaction, learning, behavior, results and return of investment. The Kirkpatrick evaluation model has been discussed in detail in other modules. Phillips model is also used for determining the return of investment in human resource development, and a pictorial representation of the same is given in this slide. Now, Money has made few propositions to maximize the effectiveness of training, which is all as follows. The first is training need identification, which should be done, which includes other things like organizational analysis, task analysis, and person analysis. Second is pre-training activities. Before we are planning for a training or we are going to launch a training program, it is necessary that we look into some pre-training activities like what will be the venue of the training, what is the budget of the training, who will be the trainer, what will be the arrangements for food. All these activities need to be taken into consideration if we are looking forward to plan a successful training program. The second is planning and organizing the program. That means to put all resources at the right place at the right time. The third is feedback on faculty. You must obtain proper feedback on faculty or trainer. That means you need to ask the trainee whether he understood the concepts or not. Were there any drawbacks? Were there any material that was missing? Such things should be taken into consideration, and the next program should improvise on all the loopholes pointed out by the trainee. Feedback from the external faculty. You can also ask external consultants to come in and provide feedback. Decision points in planning, training, evaluation. You need to make a few decisions before you plan a training evaluation. That is, should an evaluation be carried out and who should evaluate it? What is the purpose of evaluation? How will it be measured? How comprehensive the evaluation will be? What is the authority and responsibility of different stages of evaluation? What are the sources of data? How the data will be collected? How it will be compiled? And how will the data be analyzed and reported? As we have discussed the process of training evaluation, it includes the following 3 steps: pre-training, during training, and post-training. There are various methods of training evaluation. The first is questionnaire method. You can design a structured questionnaire and provide it to the trainee at the end of the training program and ask him whether he was satisfied with the training program. The question could be based on various aspects like the content of the training program, the quality of the content, the kind of trainer, the time duration of the program, so on and so forth. Interview method is another method that you can use. In interview method, you can ask for a general viewpoint, or you can use a structured questionnaire to elicit response from the trainee and gather those responses and further evaluate them for judging the effectiveness of the training program. Standard test methods, you can use certain tests that are available in the market for assessing the effectiveness of the training program. Observation method, you can observe the trainees, you can see whether they are able to maintain their interest level in the training program or they are not able to maintain their interest level in the training program. Cost benefit analysis method, that means whatever you have invested, whether you are getting the right kind of returns on that or not. You can see whether costs are superimposing the returns or the returns are superimposing the costs. It is necessary for a training program to be successful that returns should actually superimpose the costs. Method of comparison of performance. Before the training program, what was the performance of the trainee, and after the training program, is there any improvement? Has the training program reached him to the expected level of performance, or the performance has downgraded? You can actually judge these things. Examination of the various human resource factors, like has the turnover reduced, has the absenteeism reduced, or it has increased? What is the extent of job performance? Has it improved or it has reduced? Studies to examine career development charts. You can see the career path. Is the trainee now able to define a career path for himself, or he is still directionless? Evaluating training programs. We can answer all these questions as we have discussed earlier, like did the change occur? Is the change due to training? Is the change positively related to achievement of organizational goals? So on and so forth. While evaluating training programs, it is essential to distinguish targets of evaluation from data collection methods. Targets and methods are linked through the option available for measurement, that is, its focus. Finally, targets, focus, and methods are linked to the purpose of evaluation, feedback, decision making, and marketing. Now, here we can see the diagram for it. Additional considerations in measuring the outcomes of training, they are devise an evaluation plan which includes before and after measurement of the trained group's performance related to the untrained control group. Match members of the untrained control group as closely as possible to those in the trained group. We can see here that a standard design for a study could be post-training appraisal of performance should not be done sooner than 3 months following the training. The impact of training on organizational results is the most significant but most difficult and Herculean effect to demonstrate. Measures of result are the bottom line of training success. Let us look at the broad structure of successful evaluation. We need to see the performance standard. What was the initial skill level? There was a skill gap. Now the person has achieved a new skill level. What is the performance standard? Is he able to actually plug that skill gap or not? These diagrams provide us about the evaluation and the feedback process. If we look at this particular slide, we can see there are paradigm shifts in the training evaluation process. Earlier it was activity based, now it is result based. Activity based training evaluation is characterized by no business need for the program, no assessment of performance issues, whereas result based programs link program to specific business needs and assessment of performance effectiveness, specific objectives for application and impact, which is not present in the activity based training evaluation program. Summary. Evaluation of training is an essential part of a training program. Evaluation of training essentially has two objectives. First, measuring training effectiveness and utilizing it as a training aid. Evaluation can be called as formative or summative. Training effectiveness can be measured in terms of reaction of trainees, learning that actually took place, behavior change that is observed on the job, results accomplished and return on investment. Process of training evaluation involves 3 phases, which includes pre-training, during training and post-training. It is important to devise a plan for evaluation that includes before and after measurement of the trained group's performance relative to that of untrained control group. The commonly used methods of training evaluation shall involve questionnaires, tests, interviews, observations, studies, examination of human resource factors, cost-benefit analysis and comparison of performance. Thank you very much. I hope you understood the module well.